working with racks, you can store the glass literally everywhere in your plant, so you don't have limited space where you can put glass. A buffer normally has a certain size, so you have certain amount of slots where you can put the glass, and therefore the production time you can store within this buffer is very limited compared to the racks. So with racks it's normal that you can place glass in the racks and store it for a week or whatever. Within the buffer, this is not a good idea, because whenever you place glass in the buffer, you will waste those slots for the normal production. And we normally say that we have one batch that is being cut, one batch that is within the buffer, and one batch that is currently being produced on the IG line or production. And therefore you will end up with about 3 batches within the buffer, which is 600 to 800 glasses. With automatic storage systems, in an ideal world, the operators will not need to touch the glass. So from cutting, loading, sorting until the IG line, all processes are more or less automated, and the operator will not need to carry glass around. Therefore, the operators do not have to lift the glass, which is heavy work, and they do not have accidents, they do not cut their hands or whatever. And therefore our customers tell us that their operators don't have that much illness and sick leave, and this is a great benefit for having automated systems. On the other hand, the operators need to synchronize better. So, for example, when you have a batch that consists of laminated glass and float glass, you have to cut the glass in a certain time frame to have it in the buffer at the same time, because we normally our customers, they have to more or less learn how to operate the buffer, and to have these time frames. And when you do not respect these time frames, you will maybe end up in having the float glass already cut and the buffer is full, but you cannot get any more glass in because the buffer is full, and you cannot get it out because the laminated glass is still missing. So this is some kind of learning process that the operators need to go through. The way you plan your production will change. As mentioned before, there is a limited space within the buffer, and the products will stay a shorter time within the sorting system. Therefore, you can switch production to other products more easily, but this can also be a disadvantage. The planning itself needs to be more accurate, and the operators need to follow the planning more strictly. The buffer system tries to store the glass. For example, if you plan it for a certain IG line, the glass will be stored near this IG line to have the possibility to unload it in a most efficient way. If you plan for a certain IG line and then switch to another IG line for production, you will end up in worse cycle times. Robots can be a big help for operators. For example, when it comes to lifting heavy glass sets, a robot is a big advantage, but the robot does not everything which an operator will do. So, for example, if you have an operator at the end of the line, the operator will always look at the glass, and it will detect, or he will detect quality issues, for example. So when you have big scratches or stains on the glass, the operator will see them, but the robot, even if they are very big, will simply not recognize them. So for these things, the robot can assist in moving the glass, but for quality, for example, you will need to have alternative systems like scanners and such things. Higher automation normally leads also to more places where something can go wrong. So especially with machine chains where a lot of machines, of different machines are linked together, every single machine could have a problem, and therefore you have a lot of places where something can go wrong. Therefore we are glad to have very reliable machines and a good service department which will help you out of any problems. The buffer is always designed to your needs. So we try to find a size of the buffer which will fit your production best, not too big and not too small. For the amount of space within the buffer, we normally have about between 2 and 3 glasses within one slot, and with the concept explained before, where you have one batch being cut, one batch being within the buffer completely, and one batch being produced, you will end about 500 to 800 glasses, and you will need one such block. So we are talking about 300 slots per cutting and IG line combination. When you have 2 IG lines and 2 cutting tables, we can double this, and bigger is normally not useful and smaller is also not useful.